Guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, I am at my usual place into Moto. You can also see there's a lot of activity because there is always new bikes being dropped off. So it's a perfect day for me to get here and try and take something out. So let's just have a look what I'm on today. So this is today's bike. It is the Sim Jet 14. It's a 125 and it is up for sale at £1,799. Now this bike is a year old, so that is why it's so cheap, because these new go for £2,299. So it's a nice chunk of change. What's that, £500 off a brand new one? It's got 4,000 miles. So yes, it has been run in, but that's a big saving. So let's have a look around the usual way, and then of course stay with me for the test ride. And yeah, it's been run in, so it'd be rude not to put it through a performance test as well. We'll see how fast this thing can go, so stay with me for that. Start with the close-up. So it is quite a nice big scooter this. It does have the step through, so it is nice and easy to get onto it. I've spoke about that numerous times when I've took these kind of bikes out. There is a lot to be said for just the ease and the comfort of being able to get on without overstretching. And you can see it's on a 74 plate, so that is the second half of 2024 and we are now in 2025. Yeah, nice looking thing. I'll start with the brakes. So we've got a front disc brake on a 2-piston caliper, and there is a drum brake at the rear. No rear shock on the right hand side. There is one on the left hand side, so just a single shock at the rear. Again, into Moto, perfect place to test out the comfort on the suspension, because right outside there is a cobble road, so it's as bad a road as you're ever going to get really for a motorcycle. So yeah, we'll see if it soaks up the bumps when we go out there. Currently on the side stand, but it does have a centre stand as well, which is always good. Seat wise, these are, well, they're huge to be fair. So you've got a large area here for the rider, and then you've got an equally large area there for a rear pillion should you want to take one on. And you've got some nice big thick grab handles, which is always good for someone going on the back. And your rear pegs are just tucked away nicely there. Step through, nice and easy to get on the bike, and this is just typical really of a scooter. They always have a fairly tall seat height. It's an 805mm, but even me being 5'8" with a 29-inch inseam, if I'm sat towards the front of the seat, I've got straight legs pretty much. I'm not really got a bend in my knee, but I'm flat foot both sides, which is good because it means someone as short as myself is going to be able to flat foot it. You can, however, move to the back part of the seat, in which case you're on the balls of your feet. So again, it suits a shorter and a taller rider. It's good for both. There is quite a bit of room here as well where your feet go. You've probably got 10 inches where you can move your feet forwards and backwards, so you're not stuck in the same position. Like that, if you're going to do a longer ride, it's good that you do have different places to put your feet. That's a big thing for me, because you do, if you're stuck in the same position, it can get a little bit sore after a while, but not the case with this one. And because of where the bars are positioned, I've got a nice bend in the elbow. I'm not stretching for them, but I'm not scrunched up either. And where my knee is, I've got probably a good 10 inches away from where my knee is to where the body is as well. Yeah, good 10 inches. So we'll see how easy it is to get onto the centre stand. That's really easy, to be fair. Not got a problem with that. Just a quick step on and we're away. And to get off the centre stand, just a little rock forward. Again, I'm doing it with absolute ease, so it's not something you need to worry about. And moving it around is not a problem either, because even though this is a big scooter, I'd have to describe it as being quite light as well. It's only 135 kilograms, so it makes it really easy to wheel around, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's carry on. Nice little display. It's got my favoured bars as well. So a lot of the scooters will have just all plastics here, so you can't mount anything. Where I like these because you've got the exposed bar, so you could put a sat nav, a foam mount or something like that on there. I like it. I also like, even though this hasn't got a TFT screen or anything that you would call fancy at the front, I like how it's been separated into 3 different sections there, and it just makes it look a little bit better and bigger. I don't know, let me know your views, but you've got your fuel gauge there, you've got your speedo with your total miles. As I said initially, it's got just over 4,500 miles on there, so it's running. That's the best way to describe it. It's not very high. Buttons wise, we've got, I would say these are very similar to what you'd get on any sort of motorcycle. You've got your horn, your indicators, a high and low beam. There is nothing around there. That is all you've got, just those 3. And on the right hand side, just your engine start. Coming down here for your step through, you've seen how easy it was for me to get on, and where I was talking about foot room, if I put my foot there, you can see I've got quite a bit of room. If I put myself right at the back, I've got loads of room to stretch forward, and they're at a position where you could technically put your foot out if you really wanted to stretch your foot out, so you've got loads of room there to play with, so I like that. You also have quite a nice area in the middle, so if you didn't want to wear a backpack, you have got a bag hook just here. So you've got the bag hook, you can have the bag in between your legs. Always good. Does have LEDs at the rear and at the front. The fuel tank on this is a 7.5 litres. This one, as you can see, it's only got E5 indicated. There is no E10 sticker on there. From a personal point of view, because I know a lot of people look at this as a negative because E5 is more expensive than E10, but what I would say from my own bikes that are capable of E5 and E10, I always go for E5. I get more miles out of it, and I just find that the bike seems to run better with it. So yeah, you might have to pay a couple of extra pence a litre, but it's better getting the better fuel anyway. The bike will appreciate it, and so will you, because you'll get more miles. There is some under-seat storage. It doesn't look particularly wide, but it is quite deep. So I'm going to do my usual. I'm going to go inside, I'm going to grab a helmet, I'm going to see if one fits in. So I've done my usual. I've grabbed one off the shelf. I've gone for an MT helmet, $69.99. I don't think I've ever bought a helmet as cheap as that. Bargain. So that is the helmet in there. Will it shut? No. Now that is unfortunate. I wasn't hopeful because it's quite narrow, but it is deep, so I thought it had a chance, but unfortunately it doesn't fit in. If you've got one of those half-faced helmets, you've got a small helmet, then it may well fit in there, but a full-face helmet such as this one, it doesn't. So the engine on this is a 125cc. It delivers 12 horsepower. So we'll see how that works on the road. It's quite a light bike, so I'm hopeful. It does give a top speed of 58 miles per hour, so we'll see, can it get to that? I'm going to take it to the usual national speed limit road, and I'm going to see, can it get to 58 miles an hour? I hope so. The only thing left for me to do now is to take it for a ride. I need to see, are we going to get close to 60 miles an hour, how comfortable it's going to be, and importantly for a scooter of this type, what's it like around the town centre? What's it like in traffic? How easy is it to manoeuvre? How easy is it to filter? And just how easy is it in general? How comfortable is it? All of those things I'm going to answer when I take it for a ride, so stay with me. Nice. I do like a nice and easy start. Let's do the first test, shall we? I want to just give it... Oh, okay. Now, one thing I like with a scooter, I like an instant reaction from the throttle, because there's a lot of them that I've been on and you twist them and there's a bit of lag and there's a lot of noise and then nothing really happens and then it kind of just takes hold, whereas with this, yeah, it's fairly instant. The noise and the movement comes at the same time, so I like that. So what I'm going to do, turn around, not a lot of room here, it kind of helps the test, I think, because it just shows the kind of things that you're going to have to deal with. Just as the van goes, look at that. But still, to be able to turn this bike around, because it is light, because I'm able to flat foot it, because it's just an easy bike really to just, yeah, I mean, I was literally in front of that and I've been able to turn it round with no issues, no mither, so we're off to a good start. Let's go. So now I've got both feet up, it does feel comfortable actually. Does feel really comfortable. However, just when I move back in the seat, so like the tall rider position, it has made me slide down a little bit into like the central part of the seat, so I don't seem to be able to stay towards the back. It's like it's sloped just ever so slightly. That's decent, pulling out the junction quickly, no issue with that. More of an aggressive twist on the throttle and it does seem to pick up speed quite well. Didn't mention on the walk round, the way this speedo is, you've got the big numbers going around the outside is actually kilometers and the inside numbers are the miles per hour. So 30 miles an hour comes up around, it's around where 50 kilometers is and gets there quick enough. It is a comfortable thing, I've got to say. I mean, considering there's only a single shock on the back, it does feel like really, really comfortable for your backside. So we'll just up it to 40. Yeah, I mean, it's not rapid by any stretch, but it gets to 40 mile an hour really smoothly. That's something that I would say is very learner friendly, because there isn't like a sudden burst of power. So I'm doing 35 now. If I twist the throttle fully, yes, you notice an increase in speed, but it does it in a way that it's not going to punish you. I'm going to leave braking late for these lights so I can test the brakes. Oh yeah, they're quite sharp. You don't need to put a big squeeze on those brakes to get the bike to stop quickly. That's good. Let's see what we're like at a standing start. The traffic lights, that's where we all get to play with the accelerator, isn't it? Let's see how quickly it gets to 30 miles an hour from the standing start. Let's see if I can beat this car, importantly. And I'm not condoning any racing, I'm not going over the speed limit, I'm just curious. and that's 30. 57.9. That's the official maximum speed that it says in the specs book. So I want to see, can it get to that first of all? I mean, just for people's reference now, I am just over 13 stone. Weight is a massive factor when it comes to 125 bikes. And yeah, so if you are a lot heavier than what I've just said I am, then you will notice a difference in performance, and if you're a lot lighter, you will also notice a difference, but the difference will be better. Yeah, the heavier you are with smaller capacity bikes, yeah, the slower the bike will perform for you. Okay, let me pull in here at my usual place, nicely tucked in. I'm even using a curb assist, that's how much in I am. Okay, for people that have seen the channel before, thank you very much, first of all, for coming back. This bike is now going through the performance test. So for anyone new, this is a 60 mile an hour road. I am going to give this bike the beans down here, try and get to 60 if I can, first of all, and also where I can get to 60, because this stretch of road is maybe about 1.5 miles long, and it carries the 60 mile an hour speed limit. So pretty much every 125 I've took down here, bar for about, I think 2, have managed to get to 60 miles an hour before the road goes down to 30. So this has got every chance, especially on the downhill bit. One thing actually, before I do set off and to give that lorry time, what I'm finding with this bike currently, there is little to no vibrations. It is a really nice quiet bike and it's very comfortable. The only issue, I would say, the only negative is the seat at this moment in time. So if I'm going to just jump off the bike to show you what I mean. So normally on a bike like this, if you're sat at the front because you're smaller and you move to the back because you're taller, with this it's like there's a slight slide there. So if you move back, it instantly just makes you slide back into the middle. So I don't know whether that's something that if you're taller and you're just doing it on the regular sat there, the foam underneath may well get to a point where you can do it, but at the minute, yeah, it just makes me slide to the middle. So it's just something to bear in mind for the taller riders that might need to use the back. Let's give it a go. So there's 20, there's 30, there's 40, there's 50, seems to be slowing down a little bit now. Well, I say slowing down, the increase in speed has slowed down a little bit. I've still got full throttle on. I've not eased off that at all, and we're doing about 55 at the minute. And this is what happens when you've got somebody in front of you that just decides to pull out on you. Absolutely no thought whatsoever for the person on the motorcycle. What an absolute plum. Anyway, based on what I have just done, this bike has got to 55 miles an hour on this stretch of road. And yes, there was a downhill, but there wasn't anything left in it. 55 mile an hour seems to be its limit with somebody of my weight on. Now, it is running. It's not like this bike is going to get any better than what it is now. Don't think I would take this on the motorway, but just bear in mind what I said before. If you're a couple of stone lighter than me, there is nothing to say that you couldn't achieve a faster speed, because lighter, and as I've already said about the weight, so you may well be able to go on the motorway. It's just for me personally, at just over 13 stone, I would not take this on the motorway. dual carriageway, 50-mile-an-hour roads, that kind of stuff, yeah, more than happy. It will do those speeds and it will surpass those speeds, and it does it in a comfortable manner. I'm not uncomfortable. The seat is nice. You just can't go right to the back of it without it making you slide forward. But I'm shorter anyway, so I'm kind of towards the front of the seat anyway. 60 miles an hour road. I was doing 50 miles an hour and I had to slam on. When I saw those pull out, it was a slam on job. So that for me is just, it's just inconsiderate driving, and it's driving without due care as well, because for me they're not paying any attention to other road users, are they? When they just decide that they're going to pull out in front of people, they don't give a rat's ass whether anyone's hurt or not. All they care about is that they can get out. And bear in mind, there was no one behind me. Nobody behind me at all, because I made sure that I had a good old run behind me. So yeah, she only had to wait about 5 seconds and she'd have pulled out behind me. Absolute tosspot is all I can say for that. She needs a license taken off her, because it's an idiot like that that'll actually kill somebody on a motorbike. And it is, because I'm on a little scooter trying to get to 60, but that's the legal limit on the road. I'm not riding dangerously. I'm not going in excess speed of what anybody else does on that road. I'm doing, or trying to do, the speed limit for that road, which this bike didn't achieve. But you imagine if you'd have been on a sports bike or anything faster. If you'd have been on something faster, you would have ended up being splattered by her. So I'm actually quite lucky today that I'm on a slower bike, because a faster bike, she'd have probably ploughed right into me, or I'd have ploughed right into the side of her when she pulled out on me. So yeah, thankfully I'm reviewing a 125 today and not something bigger. Even doing 60 miles an hour, I'd have probably struggled to avoid that. Anyway, enough ranting about bad women drivers. I know some men drivers are bad as well, so I'm not just being sexist. She just happened to be a bad driver who was a female. So yeah, that's why I'm ranting. But anyway, going back to the bike and avoiding all horrendous drivers, quite pleasant round the bends as well. Don't need to worry about taking it too easy, because this bike is nicely ran in. It's not on fresh rubber, so yeah, I've got plenty of grip for the bends. If all you're planning to do is do a round town commute, if you're not planning on doing any sort of high speed and you're happy at 55 as a maximum speed, then this is a really, really comfortable bike to ride. And it's responsive enough, it's lovely round town, it feels light and nimble, there's no vibrations, there's just a pleasant experience of riding. The brakes are really good, visibility is really good, maneuverability is really good. It's a pleasant bike to ride. It's just performance is not its strong point. When I say performance, I'm talking top speeds as opposed to acceleration, because the acceleration's alright, it's just that top speed that's lacking. But again, that's not what these scooters are about for me. I've done the test because I know a lot of people are always interested in the top speeds, and yeah, that's why I've done this test, to see what the performance was like top speed. But the majority of people, I'm sure, that would get one of these bikes, they're getting one of these bikes because they want a little town commuter, they want a runabout, they want something to do a couple of miles on. This is not a long distance tourer, this is not a bike to soak up millions of miles on the motorways. This is a town commuter bike. That's what scooters are. Yes, you can leave the town, and yes, you can go on dual carriageways, and yes, it'll do 55 mile an hour and probably do it all day long, because the sim engines are brilliant. I love them. You look after them, they'll just keep going and going and going. But 55 is its limit, so it does have a limit, and if that limit is fine for you, then you know, I would recommend this bike, because other than the top speed, I would say everything else about this bike is lovely. It's a lovely bike to ride. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description for Into Moto, and for now that's gonna do me. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Laters.
Oh yeah, he's a killer, that's right.